Yeah, that's why I chose the like afternoon time, because I was like, I'm not a morning person at all.
Me neither. Me neither. We're rockers. We got to stay up at night. There's no rock before
Exactly.
noon.
It's
There's
like
no rock
we
before noon.
out at night. It's fine.
What is up? What's up, man?
What's up? How's it
Sup,
going?
sup? I'm fucking good. Yeah, I love the background.
Yeah, I prepared myself.
Love that. You're awesome. This is
It-
New Zealand, right? This is New Zealand, right?
yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
Māori, so this is like, and this is Moko Kauai, which is
Indigenous.
my culture.
Oh, amazing. That's awesome.
You mentioned on your Instagram that you got pushed to do this album when the pandemic hit, but it allowed you to put more into it, but also into yourself personally. Did those things influence your process or change much in how you would usually approach recording an album, whether it's like by yourself or when you guys are like finally all together?
Yes and no. I mean, so we were writing like remotely. Like I live in Toronto, some guys live in Vancouver, and then Jeremy is in Winnipeg, and that's Winnipeg is where the band's from. It's kind of in the middle. So we would be doing a lot of like sending like songs back and forth on email and whatever. And then I'd like someone in Vancouver would send me a song, and then I'd come here and I'd scream in this room, and then I'd just do like some like gibberish, like blah 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 blah, like just try to like get a pattern or just try to get some inspiration, really. But it would allowed us to have like more informed rehearsals when we actually like got in the room together. So we kind of could learn each other's songs, and we could kind of figure out like which songs we liked of the other person's or not. And so that was cool. And I think I've always kind of like the one thing, like getting healthier or whatever. So when I was talking about that, I was literally talking about like I like lost like 40 pounds and was like counting calories and shit. But that all started like 1 year ago when I started recording this record. So there was that, and probably like staying a bit more sober helped be more clear with that. But I wasn't completely sober, so I don't know.
I don't think anyone really was on like with lockdown in the pandemic,
So I've like done a couple like interviews today, and the first one asked me to bring a drink, so I've had a couple of drinks today too. So you're good. Whereabouts are you?
I'm in Auckland, New Zealand.
Auckland. Okay, sick. I spent New Year's in Mount Maunganui once.
Really? Was that the same year you guys played here, or just like you just popped?
Oh, no. I have like mad history. Like I've been there way more times than that. Like the Silverstein tour in 2017 is like way later in the story of Comeback Kid and New Zealand.
Shit.
We went there I think in like 05 or 06.
Shit.
And yeah. And I remember I had like this like crazy like a pimple or something here. It was like so big. It was this big, and like there'd be posters of us, and people would draw the pimple on me on the thing. we played like seven shows in New Zealand on that tour, that first tour. So many.
That's so cool. I wish there were. I feel like now it's very like one or two. Like it's always like sort of Auckland, Wellington, or Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch, and then like that's it. I sort of miss all like.
And Fuel Burger is pretty good. I mean, that's probably old. That's very old news by now. But I just love the vibe. Like we had a friend, and like his parents had a huge pool in their backyard, and like they could like jump off like they're like a bird's house, or like just like a thing you can climb on. They had ropes and all this shit, and then all these like guys with six packs like taking us to like cliffs and stuff. So it's all been good.
I was gonna say like that's very the vibe when people come here. It's almost just like we're gonna show you all the best like swimming spots. It's just gonna be chill, like summer vibes almost.
Totally.
I feel like this pandemic has been very sort of like make or break for a lot of artists. Whether it has given like artists time to rest and create, or it has pushed them to sort of like rethink things. And I know that's happening like here at the moment. Did you guys ever have those second thoughts?
I'm always like, we've had band members come and go. Luckily, we've had a pretty good lineup for a while, and but I'm always scared about people like rethinking being in the band. So I'm like, please just stay. But with the pandemic, yeah, I mean, I always said like, we'll see how everyone comes out of this. Some bands are gonna break through, and some bands aren't gonna be able to hack it, and we'll see what happens. Luckily, we're a Canadian band, and like Toronto right now is still locked down. Like it opened up for a bit, and then so we've just been lucky to kind of like we had this last 6 months on tour. We went to the UK for a festival, and we went to US a few times, and that wouldn't have been able to happen in Canada, those kinds of shows. So we kind of had to like kind of dodge, be like where we live, and kind of just make it happen. The first couple times, like the first time, you're like, whoa, this is so crazy, but then you just kind of get used to it and taking all the PCR tests and this, that, the other. But then at the end of our last tour in December, we were on the West Coast, we all got COVID, and actually two members got stuck in Portland, and I got stuck in Seattle over Christmas, and like we like missed Christmas. We were just like by ourselves in hotel rooms, and yeah. So right now we feel invincible now. We're ready to go now, but like we're supposed to be in Europe for a tour now, but that's canceled. But then the next one is in March in Canada, and so we're just kind of like, like we just hope that we don't. Well, if the next thing has to get canceled, you just got to be prepared to hopefully have a contingency plans, and you just got to be flexible with this shit right now.
Well, I'll change the depressing conversation. Because I wanted to ask you about the artwork. I love asking about album artwork. But I love that this is definitely hand painted, right?
Yeah.
It looks to me sort of like hand painted, but like acrylic paint. So how did you guys get the idea to like do this for your artwork? And was it more like your idea or like the artist's interpretation of it?
Yeah. So that is a tattoo artist named Luciano Cauldron, and he does like he's I think from Mexico. He tattoos in Spain, and yeah, definitely has like a little bit of like a street art style, and he actually he did some mock-ups, and then he actually colored it, and he said, hey, do you like it looked a lot cleaner than that, like a little bit more, and he's like, hey, do you want me to do a painting version instead, and it'll kind of give it that extra texture that you're noticing. And we actually had the choice, because he does both, like to do like a more clean, like solid version, or a more hand painted version, and we chose the painted one, and like just kind of has a little bit more character in my eyes. Yeah. So we were just a fan of him. I've never been tattooed by him, but he'd like stayed at my house like when I wasn't there or something like that. I don't know him, but I want to know him. So, but he did a great job.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. I wish more bands would sort of come back to this.
Yeah, well, this is unique. I've never really loved all the Comeback Kid covers, so I'm glad that I feel like we kind of nailed it on this one. I mean, I'm not an artist, so I'm not a visual artist, so it's always weird, like as a like musician, like trying to explain like what you want to like an artist, and like I don't want to like lead them down a direction that they're not like, that's not in their wheelhouse. So it's just always like a funny ebb and flow when you're trying to, because you like what they do, but you don't want to give them too much direction, but you want it to relate, and you want to just bring the best out of them, right? So
I also wanted to ask about your music videos, because they're like, what, the three? Well, I saw three. It is three you've released so far, right?
Well, four. We just released a live music video, but it's like, I mean, it's like thrown together live footage. So it was like an excuse for a video on an album release day. So, but the other three are like actual videos.
Yeah. Because how did you guys get the idea to like for all those videos? Because they're all so different, but also like quite, like saying funky is the word, but like. Yeah,
it's a bit funky, right? Yeah, we had the time to do it. It's so crazy. Like we've been a band for over 20 years, and we probably put out a record every like 3 to 4 to 5 years. So it's always different. And like this time around, the biggest takeaway I'm getting from it is just like how much visual aspect you have to like incorporate into being in a band now.
Yeah.
And luckily we had the time to do that, and we were able to, like, the first two videos kind of like lead into each other. The first one, we're running from this guy that kidnaps us, and then the second one, Heavy Steps, you learn that he's kidnapped us for his son's birthday party to play it.
That was so good.
We play without our, you know, we have to play, and then we have to win the kids over and get them moshing or whatever. And then the third video is like a crazy like green screen thing that we just kind of like literally threw together. So it's just funny that, like, again, we don't really do it too much, so we got a budget, and it's just been super fun to like collaborate with other people. And again, just like we did with the artwork, just have a chance to collaborate with directors and editors, and kind of like put in directors. And, you know, sometimes it's like the first two videos, it was the director's idea, and we were able to like talk about it and like, you know, flesh it out. And then the third one, the green screen one for Crossed, was a total like idea. And I'm talking to the director in Germany, or like the editor in Germany, about what we want to do. And then we recorded it in Quebec, but our drummer couldn't make it, so we got him to record in Vancouver. And we just like threw it all in editor, and like, but we'd like acted it out together, like me and him, on like just like how you and I are talking. So there was a plan, but it's just a lot of like that's getting edited in Germany. So it was funny like that.
Do you think like how you've just had the past 6 months touring, has that sort of like almost given you like a renewed like passion, motivation for it all?
Totally. I definitely got my fill on it. Like when we got COVID like 2 weeks ago or three, like, and missed Christmas, like kind of took the wind out of our sails a little bit. I'll be honest with you. We're supposed to be in Europe now. It got canceled, but like, you know, we just got home. Like I would like to be there, but when I found out it was getting canceled, I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, we got our fill over the last 6 months, and you know, we're gonna have a really busy rest of the year, unless someone, you know, gets COVID or something fucks up again. So having a little break now, it sucks because the record just came out, but you know, I get to have conversations like this, and that's kind of cool. So
gives you time to do these things.
It really does. Like, I mean, just putting out a record, we manage ourselves, and you know, it's just a lot of like being on your phone really, and being on your computer a lot still. And that's just like the angle that we're taking now. And, you know, just navigating the whole like promo and working with the labels, and, you know, it would be way harder to do from the road. That's for sure. But then we'd be able to play shows. So
it's like that.
I'm trying not to. I try not to get too bummed out. Like I obviously want to be playing like nonstop, but you know, I see the silver lining.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I felt like when we first came out of our first lockdown, like
I saw y'all had festivals and stuff. I saw.
Yeah, but that's also, I suppose, like that's also the thing. Like you realize in lockdown, you were like, I took this for granted so much. And then you sort of come out, you're like, I'm going to everything at this point.
Did you get any like social anxiety at all when you started coming back? Yeah, I just felt like sometimes it was a lot. So
yeah, like my first show back it's like 100 cap room in Auckland, and it was like sold out like rock show. So it felt weird going from like straight lockdown for some sort of months to suddenly being like in a mosh pit with all these people, and they're like, you're literally like touching each other, and it's like nothing happened. It was a combination of like, this is awesome, but also like, don't touch me, and like, are we touching people now? Like, I'm so confused.
Yeah, no, I cautiously started like the first show we played in Quebec, and this is all in this video that we just put out for a song called Face the Fire. Like it's like just a collection of footage that I collected from the last 5-6 months. And the first show, like it's on that video, and like, you know, it was a festival, and there's a barricade, and like I went down to the crowd, and like, and then I remember like the next show that we were gonna play was in the UK, and I remember Jeremy saying like, just like don't go down to like the barricade because I don't want to get stuck here. He didn't want to get stuck because we were all spooked. Like it was the first shows, and then we started touring the States in September, October, and then it was like, no holds barred. And then by the last tour, I mean, like I've been moshing. I've been straight up moshing. So I will mosh again. So it's not, it's you're very cautious at the beginning, but isn't it funny how quickly your inhibitions get lost once you're in the mix again? So
oh yeah, like I think just before we went to this Red Traffic Light, I went to there's a band's like album release. It was like a metal show, and it was the first time in a while that I had sort of been in like a pit, but also like, and then I got like smashed into the speaker. But it was a combination of like fuck, but also just sort of like I missed that. Like it was just sort of weird. Like,
totally.
I was like, that's how this goes.
Oh,
cool. Okay.
I've never had a better feeling than getting slammed in the face during the No Warning set in California, like 4 weeks ago. So it hurt, but it hurt good,
Yeah, exactly. It's weird to explain to people, but I'm just like, if you know, you know.
Well, it's good to know you can take a punch.
Oh yeah. I sort
like
of,
not really, you're not a real punch, but like it's good. Like when you take, like fuck, like all right, I can like. I didn't expect it, but I can handle it.
I was just going to ask you about touring as well, about coming back here. I know that's like a hard question to answer as well, because obviously it's like very like play it by ear and.
No, there's. I mean, the fantasy is like a year from now to come to Australia at least, and I mean, I'll try my damnedest to get out to every time. Like, it's usually this is how it goes. We get an Australian tour, and then we see if we can play New Zealand. They either say yes or they say no. And they meaning like the band members with that like maybe have families. be the just like availability of the venues and just like so usually every time we do Australia we always ask like can we do New Zealand as well. And, C, I guess, would be probably the biggest thing, like if it's financially possible. Sometimes the flights override what will get paid. So, to come to Australia at least. And I mean, I'll try my damnedest to get out to every time. Like, it's usually this is how it goes. We get an Australian tour and then we see if we can play New Zealand. They either say yes or they say no. And they meaning, like the band members with that like maybe have families. be the just like availability of the venues and just like so usually every time we do Australia we always ask like can we do New Zealand as well. And C, I guess, would be probably the biggest thing, like if it's financially possible. Sometimes the flights override what will get paid. So
I only have fun questions there because I always think interviews are like way too serious.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just sort of like hate that. So I put random questions at the end just to make it more interesting.
Why
not? What's your favorite snack?
Chips.
Like normal potato chips?
You know what I do? I buy like the regular or like salt and vinegar. I try to sometimes buy chips that aren't like the most flavorful chips, because if it's the most like if it's Canada has ketchup chips, Old Dutch, but that's like if it's or like like a sweet chili heat like Dorito, if it's too flavorful I'm just going to want to eat the whole bag. So I always deny myself the most flavor and get like a regular chip. Just I won't need to eat the whole bag.
That's like how you buy chocolate almost too, I think. Like you buy the flavor like you like, but you're not going to eat the whole block.
Because if it's the one that you think is the one, then you're just going to like be too selfish for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do that with chocolate a lot. What's your most overused phrase?
And I've been noticing that in these kind of interviews, like, so I'm noticing how I'm talking only recently. Yeah. And I think is the one that I'm saying. There's too much
that's why I sort of hate like sort of editing interviews, like listening to your voice back, but then you pick up all the like if you're going like or something, and then you're just you're like, I'm just gonna trim all of these out because
I think it's because like I think I'll say it because I'll be done what I'm saying and then I'm like
yeah, and it's always like passing it on, being like,
Exactly. I'm going to be more aware of it though.
Yeah. It's hard though, because when you become aware of it, you sort of like, I feel like you can stuff yourself up when you're talking because you realize you're going to say it and you're just like, yeah.
I'll change it to, you feel me?
Just mix the
I
words.
like that. Yeah, just change it. I just got to find like, what would be another one? Just like, you feel, you know?
Ooh.
Like what else? What else would be said?
It depends if they're like, yeah, but because you could just like, got me?
Yeah, like
just gonna have to like
sure.
after this just like go write out like different things and just like have it there next to you, just like
it's like writing lyrics, like just write options for it.
Yeah, mix it up and then just decide which one you want to go with, or maybe just like
have it on the wall so I could just kind of you know
like,
you know
they're gonna do this one for this interview, I'm gonna use this one. You'll be sweet.
For sure.
If you could start a rumor about yourself, what would it be and why?
Damn.
I love this question.
It's funny that I think of like the dirtiest answer, like off the top of my head, but I won't say anything weird.
Just say it. Just say it with your chest.
Nah, I'm trying to think what would be a fun thing to actually like spread about myself. Damn, that's a good question. Something to benefit me. It would have to benefit me somehow. That I'm the shit. And then everyone's gonna want to fuck with it.
Fair enough.
That's it. Yeah, like you always want you want doors to open for you. So if if there's a rumor, there's like, yo, that guy is the one. Like he's the shit.
Like you need to like book his band and hire him for this and then you
like hire him for jobs, book his band, hang out with him, like make sure that he's taken care of. Yeah. That would be the one.
That's all the questions I had because I was like, I didn't really want to take too much of your time.
Awesome.
Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your night. Have a good sleep.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you. See ya, Shelley.
See ya.